Hey guys, this video is for anyone who is just starting out with VIPTeacher. This is going to be a longer video, so if you're not interested, no need to watch, just move along. But in today's video, I want to give you tips on how to be the best teacher you can be with VIPTeacher, which is going to lead to you getting regular students and to getting more bookings. So, first piece of advice I have for you is always be on time for your classes. Each class has a timer with a class countdown, so you can see when your class is going to start. It's all in the system. The system is going to know when you start class. So if you are a minute late to class, the system is going to think that you did not show up for your class. You could teach your whole class, whether it be 25 minutes or 50 minutes, and you actually might not get paid for it. The other thing is, even if you're 10 seconds late for class, the parents are going to see that. They're paying for these classes. So they want to make sure that they're booking teachers who can be at class on time. What I do is I log into my classroom about 3 to 5 minutes before the class. I test my equipment, which is my headset, my camera, make sure everything's working okay. And then 10 seconds before my class starts, I actually hit the start class button. Or in some classrooms, it's just a matter of you opening your camera and your microphone. I do that 10 seconds before class starts. That way the system knows I'm in my class on time. If there are any delays in the internet or the connection, 10 seconds should be enough to cover all that. The best piece of advice I'm going to give you is watch your class playbacks, okay? Each class has a class playback that becomes available to you, several hours after you're done teaching the class. I'm going to go into the system and show you how you can access it. When you first start teaching, watch your classes that you teach, okay? You're going to see what the student sees and what the parent sees. Because many times you're going to see the student in front of you on the camera, and many times there's a parent or a grandparent sitting right next to them off camera, at least watching the class or listening to the class. So you really want to be aware of that when you are teaching, because they can see and hear everything you do. So many times I'll ask a question and I can hear a parent in the background answer it. So they're always listening. There actually is a function also where a parent can log in on a separate computer and actually watch your class, be sitting in on your class, and you have no idea that they're watching you. So just always teach like a parent is watching you. So I'm going to show you how to access the class playbacks. Okay, so I am in my VIPTeacher app on my desktop. I'm sorry that I'm shaky. At the same time I am recording this, of course, one of my cats is here jumping on me. This is Scooter. Good boy. Okay, so once you're in your home page of your VIPTeacher portal, and once again, this is on my desktop. It's different if you're accessing it on your phone. Okay, this is how you're going to find your class playbacks. Here where it says upcoming classes, see more, you're going to click that. Okay. Sorry, my camera's in the way. Click all classes. So this is going to bring up classes that you have taught and classes that are coming up. So I'm just going to scroll through because these are just all my upcoming classes that I haven't taught yet. So if you scroll through till you find one that says finished. Okay. When you find one that says finished, you'll be able to access your class. Sorry if I cut that short and now I'm just going to edit weird. I had to get my cat out of my room. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll down, and if you click the classroom on any class that you have taught that says finished, you'll be able to see a class playback. Over here, it says class playback. Click. Your class is going to load. You and the student show up here. I'm just going to pan off that so that you cannot see my student. Click play, and your class is going to show up. All right, I just want to Okay, you'll see yourself, you'll see your student. I don't have my sound on because my headphones are connected, but you will be able to see yourself and hear yourself along with the student. So the things you want to pay attention to as you're watching your class feedback. Number one, take a look at your background. Now, you can buy backgrounds like cloth or vinyl backgrounds off of Amazon or Temu for $5. Sometimes I just have a plain white curtain behind me when I'm teaching. Oh, I was going to move my camera, but I don't want to because it's on a tripod and it's just going to go off balance again. But many times I just have a plain white curtain behind me. I also have some backdrops. One looks like a bookcase, one looks like a chalkboard. You just want to make sure your background is simple, not overwhelming, and it's appropriate for different ages. You could get ages anywhere from a 4-year-old to an adult. So make sure it's versatile in that aspect. Make sure you are not seeing any other things in your camera view that you do not want to be seen. For example, what's happening right here in my room, I wouldn't want to be seen in my background. I have a suitcase up there, handbags, a drying rack. I'm just doing this for the purpose of my videos because there's actually a window right in front of me, which gives me really good lighting. So be aware of what the students can see in your background. Look at what you are wearing. Is it appropriate for students of all ages? You don't need to get glammed up for your classes, but is your hair brushed? Does your face look awake? You don't have to wear makeup, but do you at least look awake? Do you need to splash cold water on your face, step outside and get fresh air before class? Just make sure you look appropriate and you look awake and you look friendly. Also, as you are watching your class playback, make sure you are smiling throughout your class. It is very easy to drop your smile after you've been teaching for 5 minutes and you still have a 25-minute or 50-minute class ahead of you. So, skip through your playback and make sure that you are smiling and you look friendly and welcoming. Check your tone. How is your tone with your student? Is it appropriate for the student that you are working with? For the lower level students, you may have to talk slower. You might have to repeat yourself. For the upper level students, you can actually talk a little bit quicker and have more conversational dialogue with them. How is your teaching style for that student's level? Now, you may get students who are lower level than the class that is in front of you. You cannot change the class that is in front of you, but you can change the way that you are teaching it. So you may need to simplify that class for a student who is at a lower level. Or you get a student who is at a higher level than the class that you see, and you need to make it more challenging. Are you extending the lesson and making it more challenging for that student? Parents really love to see that you can change your teaching style for their child. Are you correcting the student appropriately? Remember, this is English as a second language, and we are teaching them English. So the parents are expecting that the students are going to learn English properly. So make sure you are correcting them appropriately throughout the class. Are you giving positive feedback? Are you encouraging them? When they do a good job, are you saying, good job? Are you being specific? You did a great job with that sentence. Are you being animated and lively? It's different when you're teaching a student in person than teaching virtually through a camera. You need to keep your student entertained and engaged in class. So many times I find myself singing or dancing or clapping or doing something to get their attention because they might be tired. They might be distracted by something else in their house. Someone's watching TV and they are distracted by TV, or they pick up their phone and start playing with it. So you have to find ways to keep them engaged that are appropriate for the class. Also pay attention to your lighting. Do you look bright and welcoming without looking, washed out? I do recommend having some sort of lighting behind your computer screen or behind your camera. I just have a simple ring light I got on Amazon. I think it was $15. I do recommend doing something like that. You want to have really good lighting. You don't want to look like you're some creepy teacher in a dark room. And you also don't want to look too bright and washed out where they can't really see your face. So pay attention to the lighting in your videos. Also, pay attention to your sound. Okay, the sound that you hear in your playback is the same sound that your students are hearing. I do recommend using a headset with a mic boom. Number one, if you do have background noise, which we really need to try our best not to have background noise. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but having that mic right next to your mouth is going to help eliminate some of that background noise on the student's end. And I just love having the headphones so that I can clearly hear the student and correct their English as need be. So with that in mind, also pay attention to any background noise that you may have. Make sure you're in a quiet place. You may have kids, a spouse, pets. Just make sure you're in a quiet place where you can kind of drown out that noise, if not eliminate it completely. I do find that having a headset with a mic boom does help with that. Stuff happens. Sometimes the dog will bark, you know, and if I think my student can hear it, I'll just laugh about it. Like, oh, I have a dog. Do you like dogs? And, you know, just kind of make it a little lighthearted. Sometimes I'll just ignore it completely and pretend I didn't even hear it. So just pay attention to your background noise also. Pay attention to how you finish the class with your student. You want to make sure that you say goodbye, you know, something like, oh, I'll see you next time. Can't wait to see you soon. Something that makes them want to be excited to see you again and book another class with you. If you know that there's a parent right next to them, like if you can kind of see the parent, I'll sometimes say, oh, goodbye, mom, or goodbye, dad, if I know who it is. Other times you can just kind of ignore the fact that they're there. But biggest takeaway with that is teach like there is a parent or a grandparent right next to them watching and listening to every word that you can say. I say grandparent culturally, so many of these kids are with their grandparents. So a lot of times it's their grandparents sitting next to them during class. The best thing that you can do when you first start teaching is watch those class playbacks. Watch every single class playback for, I'm going to say probably at least the first 5 classes that you teach. And even now, 6 years later, I'll go back and I'll watch some of my class playbacks just to check in on myself, because what you think you're doing can be completely different from what the student is actually seeing. And a lot of times the class playbacks are there if something kind of weird or interesting happens during class and you want to go back and look at it, or if you have a student who's having specific troubles and you want to be able to leave that in the feedback, it's good to look back at the class playback and kind of refresh yourselves. So please reach out to me with any questions. If you apply, please use my referral link, and happy teaching.